Well, hello there, everyone. And today, I'm starting work really early. I normally don't start this early, but because I am covering for somebody, I'm starting early. So here I am, and I kind of like it. I woke up at around just before 5 o'clock, and it's been my habit that way. Normally, I work a little later in the day, but today I'm working early, and I just sort of have this phone turned on. And the great thing is, by the way, guys, the great thing is, I finally have an SD card on this phone here. So what I did is I just propped it to my right, and I'm just talking away. I'll probably edit some of this stuff just because there'll be some lulls here and there, but some thoughts on my mind right now, some things that's whirling through my mind. Actually, traffic's not that bad, by the way. Whirling through my mind. One thing is my logo that I started designing last week or a couple of weeks ago, depending when I posted it, and going through that process of defining exactly, or at least having a very good idea of what I want to see in terms of the logo, what's important to me. And I thought the logo should represent something that's currently happening in my little minivan VanLife journey, along with where I'd like to be. And I can certainly see myself wanting to be or being in an area where there's trees and mountains. And you know where there are trees and mountains? One is in Quebec. There are trees and mountains there. And there are trees and mountains out in BC and Alberta. And those are the two places that, for me, I'd probably want to go because they're quite beautiful, the scenery, and a tourist area as well. That would be a great place to go. I don't know when I'll be going because I also I'm working full time, and that's one of my goals is to be able to sustain myself as I'm traveling. I think that's an important part of what I'm doing right now is being able to be self-contained and doing YouTube and being consistent. And for myself, my strategy was a bit different. My main goal is to put out content, learn video editing, learn the whole process of YouTube. And in 2 months, I put out over 40 videos. And in 2 months, about 400 of you decided to subscribe, which is fantastic. Of which I think about 15 of you at least were friends, family, who I coerced into, please sign up, help me get some momentum. And by the way, thank you to my family members, and I really appreciate it. But everybody else, I think, is pretty much legit. I think somehow some of you guys think this is somewhat, maybe even interesting. The traffic hasn't been that bad. It's bad, but it's kind of neat to see all these people awake in the morning like myself. This is a new experience for me. So, see where this goes. Oh, by the way, it's winter time and it's cold. I had frost on my windows. And well, hello there. So, I guess you saw my drive to work early this morning. What I did was I just turned on my cell phone, plopped that thing down to my right as I'm driving, and just started chatting away, going to work. And I normally don't go to work this early. It feels like nighttime, so I don't know how that's going to affect my sleep. I don't think so. Right now, I'm just covering for somebody. Oh look, and this selfie stick is kind of moving. Sorry. But it should stay steady by now. I won't move so much because it's kind of like it's very sensitive, this selfie stick. So here's an advantage with regards to having an escape pod or a camper van. And I posted about it at a forum, at an FB group. And you know how great it is to just sort of beeline it over to a camper van, to your little escape pod during lunch. And even in this case here, I got here much earlier than I anticipated. I'm starting at 7 a.m. this morning, and so instead of having to go inside and sort of hang around, I can be in here doing what I want to do. No one bothering me. No. I hope he doesn't see this, but my boss isn't coming up to me. Hey James, how you doing? I know you're on your break, but XYZ 1 2 3. No one has to talk to me. No one can get to me. And there's something really amazing about that. I'm not used to that, because every other place that I worked at, even if you're on your break, and I get it, they don't do it often, but sometimes it's difficult for someone who needs something from you, not to ask you something, not to sort of approach you and say, hey, I need this, or oh, can you help me with this? Like, what's great is when I am in my space here, I am in my space. I'm the only one here. Someone can, you can keep on knocking, but you can't come in, kind of thing. No one can get in here. No one can get to me. And I guess maybe someone can hear me inside talking right now, but I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. So it's nice. And I don't know if you noticed, but to my right, okay, now, again, this is a forward-facing camera, so it may not be completely correct. And somebody mentioned that, by the way, just real quick. Somebody mentioned that the forward-facing camera kind of freaks them out a bit. I'm going to try to flip it over. I think I found a way to flip it over, and hopefully I can. But over to my right is my silver duck. Remember that guy? Oh, yes, he's back, and I have him pointing straight up to the roof as opposed to down, because I've got my boots on right now because it's cold. I'm in Canada. And I think it's going to snow. Apparently it's going to be very, very cold, and so like face freezing weather. So hopefully, the season heel keeps up. Extremely impressed by it. And I mentioned it almost a lot when I first started. It's just, I didn't expect it to be this good. I knew it was going to be good, but not this good. And my only misgiving really is, I wish I got a bigger tank. Right now I have a 10 liter that I fill up about once a week, and that gets me through the entire week. I don't always have it on. I do have it on during break if it's cold. Otherwise, I don't need it on. Or if I'm going to be nighttime, you definitely need it. But once you're warmed up, you're pretty good. And then you got to turn it on again early in the morning because it's cold. This morning when I was just sort of cleaning up, I had to turn it on. It was freezing, and but it's really helpful. However, I know some people, they can't do the diesel heater thing because diesel they're just not into it. Because maybe some people could smell it more. I'm just going to move that, by the way. And I get it. To me, there was like when it starts up, because I think because the glow plug doesn't completely light up immediately. There is a slight sound. It's like anything else when you have a fire. Anytime you have any kind of combustible, you're gonna have some kind of scent happening, and that's what happened here. But overall, it's working great. So the possibility is, if you can't have a diesel heater, is look into a Propex heater, where again it's vented out. It's using propane. And I think that's about $850 to $1,200, depending what brand you get. You also have to pay for installation. In this case here, this was a diesel heater. It was like, I think, $180. And I mean, to me, that's a big purchase, especially for my budget. It put me over budget for this particular build. This is a budget build. I did everything I can to reduce the amount of money I was going to spend on this thing. It's a Project Van Mark 1 approach, where I'm learning about how this stuff works, what I'm gonna really want later on. But it's funny, I'm finding that I actually kind of just like it the way it is. I had these aspirations that I was gonna get a Sprinter van or something really big to start on, but I never ended up doing that. And maybe when I start going like traveling, like now that would be cool when I start traveling like full time across Canada and the States, when this whole COVID thing goes away or maybe is under control. Then I might look into a high top. That's something really interests me. But for now, I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. It's giving me everything I need, and it's simple. Somebody had mentioned on my Reddit post, what my plans were, my list of plans. one of them obviously is to finish my van build. The other one is to continue with my courses. I'm taking a Python course on automation. I want to be on a pro level in terms of Python. I'm also taking some other courses, for example, React. I'm not doing React Native, but I'm looking into that. Node.js, things like that. So like computery things, right? Because I tend to sort of gravitate towards that, and I'm happy to sort of do those kinds of things. But I can do other things as well. I can draw. I have a somewhat of an illustration background. I've used a program called Inkscape, and by the way, oh yes, the logo. Almost forgot to talk about the logo. That's one of the reasons why I started this video. But so I'm going to use Inkscape. Oh, it's 6:30. I'm going to use Inkscape to build out the logo. But before that happens, before you actually make a logo, before you start, using a program, like I never use a program first to make a logo. Like I might use it to sort of like play around and click around and see if I can make certain shapes. But the first thing I do is start off with an idea, with a concept, sketch it out. So I have a general idea whether I'm going north, west, east, or south, and then build it up from there. Anything more than that, if I start making a logo from the onset, like on a computer, it doesn't feel right. Now some people could do it, and good for them. And if you can do it, then more power to you. It's not my thing. I tend to like to draw things out first. And speaking of drawing things out, where is my notebook? I was at a coffee shop the other day. No, I couldn't have left it there. I just went in and bought my coffee. Anyway, I'll find it. I'm sure it's somewhere amongst the rubble here. Yeah, so logo design. So I actually wouldn't actually start producing stuff directly on a computer. I'd draw it out. In some cases, instead of scanning it, I'll take a picture of it and then start creating an outline from there. So yeah, so that's the logo. The other thing I want to do as well is to save up and upgrade parts of my build here. Change up a few things, remove some stuff, add some storage, especially this thing here. Okay, I'm interested in adding some storage there. So van build updates, learning more about YouTube and how it all works. And this is something that is important to me because I do believe it's possible, but the numbers have to be there. So the more it moves forward, the more I'm actually getting closer to that, the holy grail of monetization, at least the startup of it, getting 1,000 subscribers and getting 4,000 hours of people actually watching your stuff. Then the more I'm going to start to have a little more faith in it. But for now, I'm not banking on it. I'm doing something that's tried and true, that's less risky, because my circumstances don't allow me to take on too much risk right now. So I have a full-time job, and that's how I'm going to be doing it. And in the meantime, this YouTube, this whole thing I'm doing is a side hustle. I also looked into Amazon affiliates, so like the standard things that most of these guys are doing, okay, and seeing if it actually works. Obviously, it'd be great if I can just make YouTube videos, but I think for me, there's a limit, and I think for me, I'm more of I just want to do this. To me, it's fun. It's therapeutic to get content out there, and I really appreciate you guys watching this and sort of giving me your time and listening to me sort of chat away, and that's cool. And the comments and the advice that I get and the messages, I really appreciate that. So some guy in Ontario appreciates you commenting, liking, so I think I'm pretty much done. It's getting hot in here with this silver duct running in my background. I think I should cue the music, right? So please like, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. and share the video, and maybe somebody out there will appreciate it. Maybe somebody out there will be able to start up their own van build. I'm going to continue putting content out as long as I can do it, and again, I really appreciate you guys supporting me and helping me with my channel. Okay, I think I'm done. Have a fantastic day, have a fantastic life, have a fantastic month. And remember, the word fantastic is fantastic. Bye-bye.